So at the point of recording this video, I'm 9 years into the game of being a business owner. I actually forgot the anniversary on the 1st of May. It's the 20th of May right now. We're just going to pretend it's the 1st of May, just for the sake of it being 9 years to keep it nice and round. I want to tear apart some of the biggest mistakes that I've made that led me to really losing myself in the process of building my business and building my life, because it's very, very easy to do. Let me tell you that for free. But before we get stuck into that today, my name's Kristian Hill. I'm the founder of a coaching program called Ready for Anything. We basically help high performers, entrepreneurs, execs, anyone that's in a high pressure job create more clarity and stillness in their life, because they're sick of being someone that's in this constant cycle of burning out and being stressed. We help them reclaim control of their body and mind and actually live a life that isn't just successful on paper. So do me a massive favour, make sure you've hit subscribe to the channel, and let's get stuck into this. I came up with the idea for this video about 40 minutes ago. So me and Michelle were sat having some lunch. It's my friend that's over from Russia right now. He's here on vacation and we're just talking life. And for some context, he's just started out a business in the last year. I can't remember the exact dates. It doesn't matter anyway. But he's at those early stages where he's working hard right now, and he was talking about his day. He was talking about how he's like, his routine is pretty much like he gets up and he's like sorts himself out. He's straight to the gym. He comes back. He works. He builds his business at the same time. And any spare time that he has is going towards his business, because he knows for his next level, to get the freedom that he wants, to have the life that he wants, he has to go through this point of like chewing glass. This is the part that puts so many people off pursuing their goals, because there's so much uncertainty around what may or may not happen. That's the point of like building something and following your heart and following your dreams. Because if you're not doing that, all you're doing is following someone else's anyway. And this is what's referred to as the lonely chapter, that part where you have to give up a lot of parts of your life that you've never been willing to sacrifice. You don't see friends as much, you don't get to do as much things, you have to cut back on spending because you're putting money into other areas. And it's just very inconvenient for a lot of people to do, hence why they don't do it. Sometimes it can take longer than you thought it was going to take, but eventually, if this is your number one priority and it's your vision and you're actually starting to really think about how your life's going to look, it's going to happen. Because when you are someone that is prioritizing all of the right things, I say this to clients all the time, it is mathematically impossible to not succeed. As I was sat there talking to Michelle, I really checked in with myself. I was like, I am in a wildly different spot to what Michelle is right now. I'm in a season in my journey where I'm stepping into being someone that's learning to do more whilst doing less. And there was a thought that came into my mind, and it was like, I should tell Michelle to do this. I should tell Michelle to slow down here, to create more space there. That would actually be the worst advice. He's working 2 jobs right now. He's starting things off. He's at a point where if he were to slow down and do less, stay in bed longer, cut off his hours, he would physically get less done that wouldn't allow him to get into that next point. And that brings me on to my next point. You need to be so careful as to who you're receiving advice from. So many gurus online, mentors, coaches, gurus are telling you that you need to do this, you need to do that, and this is what I do, and I live by this. There's essentially 3 states I want you to think about, and you have to really know where you're at in your journey. So there's the warrior, the knight, and the king. Call it queen as well if you want, right? If you're a man or a woman watching this video right now. The warrior is the person that's out there fighting, that's on the field, that's on the front line, that is getting covered in battle scars, that's got open wounds, that's really going through it, and they're just going through a masterclass on how to develop all of these skills that they don't have, how to be someone that can show up online, how to be someone that can get results for their customers, for their clients, how to be someone that can ideate, create, how to be someone that can sell. You're just deficient in all of these areas that you're out there just swinging your sword, blocking punches, blocking swords coming at you, and you're at this point where it just feels hard, it feels rough. Depending on the space that you are in and depending on what you do, it's going to then vary on how long that takes. I can't tell you that takes 3 years, that takes 5 years, that takes 6 years. Being fully transparent, I just never ever left that phase for a very long period of time, because I actually trained myself into thinking I just needed to be a swordsman. I just needed to be someone that was fighting all the time. Because I remember actually leaving the military back in 2017. I started out as a personal trainer. I remember being on the gym floor, and there was like this particular week where I remember I lost quite a lot of clients and people dropped off, and I basically took my foot off the gas with all the necessary things that were going to allow me to get more people, impact more lives, get more results, make more money. And anyway, I took my foot off the gas with all of the stuff that got me to the dance in the first place, and it came back to bite me in the ass, and clients were dropping left, right and centre because I wasn't at a point that I could do that. I wouldn't even do that now, right? But as you develop in your journey, you're going to get more done with your little pinky than you could get done in an entire day with your entire body previously. That's what happens as your skills develop. You become more of an authority, more wise, more aware. Even like making this video right now, it feels very confident and very natural to me. I look back at videos of me even talking 5 years ago, and I look like I'm just shouting at the camera. I look like I wouldn't even speak to anyone like that in public, so why am I talking like that right now? Anyway, the point I'm trying to get at is like, you have to develop so many skills. But there comes a point where you have to start asking yourself, where am I in my journey right now? Am I a warrior? Am I a knight? Or am I in my king or queen state right now? Because if you operate like someone that is in the wrong state, you're going to scramble your nervous system. And you're always going to be in a state of stress. And you're always going to be someone that feels that you need to be doing more. You feel that you can't switch off. You feel that you need to be on from the moment you get up. You feel that you need to be working. You're going to struggle with guilt. And if you're at this point right now, then you need to work tremendously hard on learning to build that trust with yourself. It's no different to someone actually starting to build trust with themselves when it comes to nutrition. Someone's tracking their food. And the minute they stop tracking their food, they start eating like a ball bag. And it's like, you need to build more trust there. You need to become someone that does what they said they were going to do. You need to become someone that operates with a level of discipline and certainty that allows them to get the job done and not depend on the scaffolding to be the thing that does it. So another conversation I was having with one of my friends recently was, I took 8 days off of Instagram recently. And I was telling him about it, and he's like, I'm going to do that on my honeymoon. His honeymoon's in August. And I was like, nah, bro, like, do it now. This guy's been in the game a similar time to me. And I was like, you should really do this, because what it allows you to do is see where you are dependent on doing that thing. Because it comes to a point, if you're watching this right now, you probably don't struggle with discipline. You probably don't struggle with turning up and doing the thing. You probably struggle with not doing the thing, and the guilt that consumes you when you don't do it, the negative voices, the inner voice that comes in and consumes you because you haven't posted a piece of content. You haven't been on your WhatsApp. You haven't checked your emails. You have to train yourself to essentially unlearn some of the things that you've done because your nervous system doesn't like it. And this is going to take a period of time. This isn't going to be something that happens instantly. This is going to be something that you have to sit in the deliberate discomfort of doing that. Otherwise, it's going to be like a ball and chain that you have to deal with for the rest of your life. So many people, year after year, it gets to a point where, me and Ailey were talking the other day, after the age of 25 years old, it is scientifically proven that it is so much harder to change the way that your neuroplasticity is, the way that your mind works. Like, you are very set. Like, this is what we call a fixed mindset. Like, as much as you're open and your growth and you want all these things in your life, the reason why that you have the compulsive need to do things in your life is because you've trained yourself to do that. Because when you were a warrior, when you were in that season, it paid the bills. It actually worked. It worked for you to be someone that was almost like Mr. or Mrs. Health, professional productivity optimization. Like, it paid for you to be in that season. But there comes a point that if you want to create more freedom, it's not just about getting more. It's not just about quantity. It is about quality. So my advice to you, if you're watching this right now, number one, really be careful as to who you're taking advice from, because they might be giving advice that's only applicable to someone in a different season in their life. Like, I feel guilty for this quite regularly, and I sometimes have to check in with myself where I see something online that maybe triggers me for something that I am no longer doing that I previously done. And then I sit with myself and I just observe my inner voice, and I'm like, yeah, that would have triggered you because in the past, that's how you used to operate, but you're not there anymore. So it's being able to read between the lines and learn how to sit in that. And then the second one is that you have to start testing yourself deliberately to build the trust. This is what I call with clients, sitting in the mud. When anyone comes in, we identify the old belief patterns, the old identity, and the things that they're hanging on to, because most people are stressed and anxious and wired because they can't switch off, because they have trained their brain to be someone that is locked in all the time. Trained their brain to be someone that has to have everything done a certain way. I spoke recently at our event when I ran it in Marbella, when we ran one of our mindset seminars, that I believe that every single person on this planet struggles with compulsiveness and addictive behaviors. Every single person. Some people's are just at different levels of intensity. Why do you think people say all the time, I've got OCD, I've got obsessive compulsive disorder? Because most people do. It doesn't have to be diagnosed, and it doesn't have to be something that requires medication or clinical diagnosis, but actually the way that our brains work, we're like dogs. Like, you see a dog, they do the same thing. I go home, I see my little family dog Sky, she does the same thing every single time. It gets to a point where you start reaching your late 20s and beyond, early 30s, 40s, where like things just become so ingrained. You have on average like 60,000 thoughts a day, 95% of them are completely unintentional, and the vast part of your thoughts are the same as what they were the day before. So if you have trained yourself to be like, this is how my life is, this is how I feel, this is how I think, this is how I like things to be, I like to get this done by this time, this done by that time, you actually kind of have to abandon the very thing that has become your sense of self. And that's a hard journey to go on, because everyone's applauded you the entire way. It's been the very thing that's allowed you to build your brand, build your life, build your career, build your wealth, build everything that you have. And I'm kind of telling you, if you're moving into your king state or you're moving into your knight state, you have to stop trying to operate in that same way. It's like me saying right now, I have to have the best standards above all of my clients. Yes, 100% I do, but being someone that's bringing in rules and regulations and boundaries that I'm actually way beyond is holding me back. Like if I say things like, I can't snooze my alarm, like I need to be that person who wakes up by this time, like I'm not in that season of my life anymore. It's not to say that I shouldn't wake up early, but like I've been doing this for a very long period of time. If I'm giving myself a hard time for snoozing my alarm, it just sounds a bit weak. It sounds fragile. It's not saying that like I don't wake up early or I'm not productive, but it's like it's a paradigm shift that you need to go through and be like, right, what season am I in right now? If you're leading other people, leading clients, you need to be so much better than them. Not do the exact same thing that they are doing and adopt the same mindset and do it to a better standard. Yes, hold your standards high, but you have to play the game so much differently to the last version of yourself if you really want true freedom in your life. Because freedom is not just wealth, location freedom. Like I have ticked all of these boxes. I'm still well in this journey right now. I have complete location freedom. I've never had to worry about finance for the last few years. Yeah, I've had bills pop up and stresses like I go through, but I've never had to really think things through. It doesn't change everything, because if you've still got the same thoughts and beliefs in your mind, they are going to be the thing that rule your mind. And a lot of people are just creating mental captivity for themselves, where they're just stuck in this cycle and they're winning on the outside. They're winning publicly, but they're losing privately because they're so stuck in this. So yeah, my 2 bits of advice: be so careful as to who you're taking advice from. And then number 2, really think about what season you're in and what things you need to stop telling yourself that were good in the past, but for this new version of yourself is actually something that you've well outgrown now. Anyway, do me a massive favour, make sure you've hit subscribe to the channel. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below, and if you are interested in getting my help and become someone that doesn't struggle with any of this stuff and wants to go through this entire process of becoming someone that's free within their mind, at peace with themselves, and is absolutely crushing it and lethal in everything they're doing, hit the link in my bio, let's lock in for a call and let's go for it from there. Anyway, see you later, goodbye.